Hi, Jim Williams, here at my home course, Old Natchez Country Club, Nashville, Tennessee, and we're in the middle of our weekly blog on how to play better golf on the golf course. So here's my dilemma, all right? I've teed off, and I got a couple balls here to make some examples, but I'm behind a tree, and there's my green on the other side. So now I've got to go around some trouble, and some pretty big trouble at that. So what are you going to do? Let's say you can't go over it, and you have to go around it. Here's what you have to think about. Curving the ball is important. You have to be able to curve it to negotiate trouble. Also, when you get to be a little more advanced, to attack pins that are tucked in corners. So if you understand the basic premise of how to curve the ball, you're going to be a lot more of a complete player. So here's the essentials that you need to know. And for everything I'm talking about, we're going to assume a center hit. There are variables if you hit off the toe or the heel that affect curving in midair and things like that. But we're going to assume a pretty solid hit. We're going to talk about this. When I played golf when I was younger, like a lot of you, I always aimed the club face where I wanted the ball to, to sort of end up, and then I would swing around the trouble. So what would happen is let's say I was trying to hit this ball here to the green, right to the flag, right through there, and I'd aim the club right at the flag, and I would close my stance and swing more to the right, right? But I would always hit the tree, just like that, and that's perfect. And I tell you what, that used to drive me crazy. So I didn't understand the basic concepts of ball flight, which for most of you out there, if you understand these two principles, it'll change your game a lot. I used to aim the club at my end point, which would be the flag. Let's say I'm trying to knock it in the hole. Well, what I should have been doing all those years was aiming the club face down my start line around the tree, because here's the deal. When the club hits the ball shoots off where the club face is pointed. So for all intents and purposes, about 85% of the starting point, maybe 90 with a driver, is dictated by the club face at impact. So if your club is pointed at the tree, the ball is going to recoil into the tree. So you have to aim to the right. So what you have to do to work the ball around this trouble is, number one, aim the club face down the line that will get you around the trouble. So if you look at these clubs on the ground, I have two clubs. It's a little vector, all right? This one is the club face line. This is the swing path line. So for you to work the ball correctly, you want to start the club face and the ball down this line, or maybe even a little more if you want to be sure, but you want to swing down the outside line. So you want to have the club face at impact more on this line, but the club moving away from you. That's the key to hitting a curve shot, is the farther this is away from this, the more the ball will curve. My old problem, like a lot of you, was that this would be at the target and the ball would immediately jump into trouble and I'd never get it around. So here's the key. We're going to start the club face right of the tree. We're going to swing more to the right. And there's the hook. Out to the right, hooking back up to the green. That's perfect. That's the key. You guys need to think about this. This will really help you. Now here's the thing. The opposite's true for a fade. And a fade is a much harder shot for most people. And I'm no exception when it comes to trying to curve the ball. If I'm going to go around this tree, let's say that I really need to hit a cut. I can't hit a hook. There's 5 more trees there in my way. The same principle applies, but we're going to flip-flop it. So I'm going to stand behind like this, and I'm going to start my line right here. So my club face is on this line, which is left of the tree. I'm then going to try to swing more along this line. So again, the goal here is to curve the ball around trouble. But if you start the ball into the trouble, it's never going to get around it. So here we go. We're going to put the club face more on my start line, which is more here, which is left of the tree. My swing path is even farther left, and I'm going to try like crazy to carve that ball around the tree. Ball starting left, curving back to the right. That's just what I was looking for. So it's a little bit harder to fade the ball a lot than it is to hook it for most people, but the reality is if you understand the principles of ball flight, if you start the ball around the target and swing farther in that direction, you should get the ball to curve back, assuming a center hit. So good luck with this. I really hope it helps you play better golf on the golf course and negotiate some of those obstructed shots. Good luck.